returning home earlier than planned from a business trip. I heard the front door open. My wife's voice, playful yet firm, drifted through the house. "Stop it," she said with a giggle. A man's voice followed, teasing and eager. "You don't want to stop. In fact, I don't even want to wait until we get to bedroom. We'll do it right here on the back of this couch. Just take off your panties, because last time it cheated me." The words hit like a slap. I wasn't supposed to be home. That was the entire point. My flight had been delayed, and rather than spend another night in a hotel, I caught the first available plane back. The drive from the airport had been uneventful, my mind occupied with thoughts of surprising my wife, maybe sharing a quiet dinner or waking her with soft kisses. Something simple to show her how much I had missed her. But when I pulled into the driveway, something felt off. A second car sat parked outside. Not unfamiliar, not a stranger's. A black Audi, the kind of car a man buys when he wants to feel important. The sight of it sent a cold weight sinking into my stomach. "Chris." I turned off the engine and sat in the quiet darkness, forcing myself to breathe. I had never been one to jump to conclusions, but nothing about this felt right. Sophia hadn't expected me home. She believed I was thousands of miles away. Grabbing my suitcase, I approached the door with measured steps. Just as my fingers brushed the handle, I heard them, laughter, then the words that shattered everything. I had imagined betrayal before, the way people entertain fleeting nightmares, distant, abstract, unreal. But this was no bad dream. This was real. This was happening in my home. My grip on the handle tightened as I listened to the rustling clothes, their breathless anticipation filling the silence. I didn't think, I acted. The door crashed open, slamming against the wall with a force that sent shock waves through the room. The air was thick with heat, the remnants of their passion still clinging to the space between them. Sophia stood half-dressed, her blouse undone, revealing the lacy black bra I had once bought for her. Chris was behind her, belt unfastened, one hand still resting on her hip. They froze, caught in the moment of their sin, their expressions betraying everything they couldn't deny. I stepped inside, slow and deliberate, shutting the door behind me. The sound echoed through the room, heavy, final. Sophia's eyes widened in horror. She hadn't expected this, hadn't prepared for the moment I would walk in and see her for exactly what she was. "Honey, I can explain," she stammered, voice trembling. Chris, the arrogant bastard, smirked. "Damn, man." He chuckled, unfazed. "You should have called. We would have saved you a seat." That was it. I moved without thought, crossing the room in 3 strides. My fist connected with his jaw, sending him crashing onto the coffee table. Sophia screamed, stumbling back. Chris groaned, blood trickling from his lip as he spat onto my hardwood floor. "You son of a..." I grabbed him by the collar, yanking him up and slamming him against the wall. The smirk vanished. Fear took its place. "You have 5 seconds to get out of my house," I said, voice steady, controlled. His eyes darted to Sophia as if expecting her to save him. She remained silent, frozen in place. I shoved him toward the door, watching as he scrambled to gather his shoes, tripping over himself in his rush to escape. I followed him onto the porch, my voice calm but final. "If I ever see you again, I won't stop at one punch." He didn't argue, didn't plead. He just ran, the sound of tires screeching as he tore out of my driveway echoing in the cold air. When I turned back, Sophia stood in the doorway, arms wrapped around herself. She looked small, fragile, nothing like the woman who had so easily welcomed another man into our home. "I can explain," she whispered. A laugh escaped me, cold, humorless. "Oh, you will," I said, "but not tonight." Brushing past her, I grabbed my suitcase and walked toward the guest bedroom. That was where the real punishment would begin, not in shouting or violence, but in silence, in the weight of everything she was about to lose. The house was suffocating in its stillness. Sophia lingered in the doorway, clutching her blouse together, desperation etched across her face. She knew she had crossed a line that could never be undone. But I wouldn't scream, I wouldn't cry. That would be too easy for her. She waited for an outburst, for rage, for something. but I walked past without a word. "Where are you going?" she asked, her voice unsteady. I didn't answer. She watched as I picked up my suitcase and carried it into the guest room, a room she had never cared about before, a room she never thought a married couple would need. "You're sleeping in here?" she asked, stepping closer. "You're really going to act like this over one mistake?" I stopped, turning slowly. "One mistake." I repeated, my voice void of warmth. She swallowed hard, twisting her hands together. I mean, it didn't mean anything. It was just sex." A sharp, bitter laugh escaped me. "You weren't just screwing him, Sophia. You brought him into my house. Let him touch you on my couch. Laugh with him while I was out working for us." Her lip quivered. "I don't know why I did it." "You knew exactly why." I said, "Because you thought you could. Because you thought I'd never find out." Her eyes dropped, silent confirmation. She didn't regret the act, only getting caught. A long silence stretched between us before I finally spoke again. "Go to bed, Sophia." She blinked. "What?" "Go to bed," I repeated. "Because starting tomorrow, you're going to learn exactly what it feels like to lose everything." I shut the door in her face. The next morning, I woke early, not out of restlessness, but with a sense of clarity. I moved through the house in silence, brewing coffee, checking my phone. Messages from Sophia filled the screen. "Sophia, can we please talk?" "Sophia, I made a mistake, but I love you." "Sophia, you can't just shut me out." "Sophia, say something, anything." I smirked. She was panicking. Good. Her bedroom door creaked open. She must have been waiting for me to acknowledge her, because the moment she saw me, she rushed over. "Good morning," she said cautiously. I was hoping we could talk." I took a slow sip of coffee, not looking up. "I'm busy." Her jaw tightened. She hated being ignored. "I don't understand what you want from me," she snapped. "I already told you it didn't mean anything." Finally, I met her gaze unreadable. "And I already told you." I said, "You're going to understand what it feels like to lose everything." Her breath hitched. For the first time, real fear flickered in her eyes. Step 1, erase her. No shouting, no dramatic fights, just silence. I stopped acknowledging her presence. No eye contact, no conversation. If she spoke, I walked away. If she asked for something, I ignored her. At first, she pretended it didn't bother her, rolled her eyes, scoffed, acted above it. But as days passed, the cracks started to show. One night, she finally broke. "Why won't you just yell at me?" she cried. "Why won't you say something?" I leaned against the counter, tilting my head. "You don't deserve my anger," I told her. She deserved my silence. Her face crumpled, and she stormed off. Good. That was just the beginning. Sophia thrived on her social life, brunches, dinner parties, gossip sessions. She needed admiration like air. So I made sure people saw her for who she really was. I didn't have to go around telling everyone she cheated on me. That would have been too easy. Instead, I let her expose herself. I dropped hints in the right circles, a subtle shift in my social media presence, a quiet conversation with mutual friends. "Yeah, things are rough right now. It's hard when you find out the person you love isn't who you thought they were." That's all it took. The whispers spread like wildfire. Within days, her friends started looking at her differently. Side eyes, hesitant smiles, conversations that stopped when she entered the room. Confused, she finally asked one of her closest friends why people were acting strange. "Sophia, is it true? Is what true? That you cheated on him?" She went pale. "Who told you that?" Her friend gave an apologetic shrug. "People are talking." And just like that, the image she worked so hard to maintain crumbled. But I wasn't done. I waited for the perfect moment when she was at her lowest, isolated, desperate for something familiar, before making my next move. I filed for divorce. I told her one evening. She looked up, eyes hollow. "What? The papers will be here tomorrow." Her head shook in disbelief. "No, you can't just throw everything away." I let out a laugh. "You threw it away the moment you let another man touch you on my couch." Tears welled in her eyes. "I love you. I stared at her for a long moment before giving her the coldest smile. No, you don't. You love what I gave you, and now you have nothing. The next morning, she barely looked like the woman I once knew. Her hair unbrushed, her confidence shattered. She picked up the divorce papers with trembling fingers, reading the first few lines before whispering, "You're actually doing this?" I leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You thought I wouldn't?" She swallowed hard. I thought we could fix this." I scoffed. "Fix it? You weren't trying to fix anything when you spread your legs for him." She flinched. "Good." I stepped forward, lowering my voice. "You didn't think about fixing things when you let him touch you in our home, when you moaned for him on our couch. So tell me, Sophia, when exactly did fixing things become important to you? When you realized you lost, when you saw there were consequences." Tears fell down her cheeks. "It was a mistake." "No," I said, "a mistake is sending the wrong text. Burning dinner. You made a choice. I don't want to lose you." I tilted my head. "You lost me the second you made me a fool. And now you're about to lose a lot more." She had grown comfortable in the home I paid for, the one I built a future in, but I had already spoken to my lawyer. I was keeping the house. She had 1 month to move out, and I was going to make her feel every damn second of it. I stopped making grocery runs, canceled all her subscriptions, her spa appointments, her online shopping accounts, even the cleaning service. Suddenly, she had to cook, clean, and live in a house that no longer welcomed her. One night, she snapped, "Are you trying to make my life miserable?" I took a sip of whiskey and shrugged. "I'm just treating you the way you treated me. You're punishing me." I smirked. "Not yet." Her career was next. She had gotten her job with my support, my networking, and I had a friend at her firm. A quick text was all it took. Within days, I had proof she had used company time and resources to cover up her affair, meeting her lover during office hours, sending personal emails from her work account. It didn't take much for her boss to find out. That evening, she came home pale. "I lost my job," she whispered. I feigned surprise. "Wow, tough break." She looked at me, really looked at me for the first time. "You did this." I leaned back in my chair, taking another sip. "I didn't cheat on myself. Sophia, you did this." She had lost almost everything. Her job, her comfort, her dignity. But I wasn't done because there was one last thing she still held on to, the illusion that she could somehow crawl back to me. As she packed her things, she lingered, hoping for kindness. One night, she muttered, "Maybe we can try counseling." "Why?" I asked. She hesitated. "Because we had something real once." I let the silence stretch before laughing. "We had something real, Sophia. That something died the second you let another man into our home." She flinched. "I don't want you. I don't love you. I don't even hate you anymore." I stepped closer, voice low. "You're just nothing to me." That was the moment she truly broke. Not when I served the divorce papers. Not when she lost her job. Not when she packed her things. It was now, when she realized there was no coming back. The night before she left, I hosted a party. She didn't know until she walked downstairs and saw our closest friends, colleagues, and neighbors gathered in the living room. "What is this?" she asked, voice shaking. I raised my glass. "A toast." People murmured, confused. That's when I pulled out my phone and hit play. The video, the one where she and her lover moaned and laughed, unaware the camera had captured everything. Silence fell. Faces turned from curiosity to shock. Friends looked away, embarrassed. Some gasped. Others muttered, "Jesus, she did this to him in their own home." Sophia stood frozen, breathless, trembling. "Please stop," she whispered. I tilted my head. "Why? You don't want people to know the truth." Her lips quivered, and then she ran. She never recovered. Her job gone. Her reputation ruined. Her friends vanished. And me, I moved on. A better house, a better career, a better woman. And as for Sophia, last I heard, she was struggling to hold down work, hopping from one cheap apartment to another, haunted by the humiliation she brought on herself. Revenge served.